Got him shit.
Welcome everybody to a very special episode of Nothing Good to Say. Today we're going to be having a discussion with Stockton's own JayHoj. We're sitting here just a few days before he drops his first full-length project titled Undisclosed Location. And we're going to try to have this up sometime around when the tape drops, so that way you can enjoy this as a visual aid of the project itself. But let's get into it. So first of all, welcome JayHoj. Thank you for sitting down with us on this evening.
It's good, man.
So we're sitting down, like I said, Friday. Today's Cinco de Mayo. Tape drops on Monday. And I just want to get like a kind of like your state of mind right now heading into the weekend, knowing that your project's going to drop on Monday.
Man, I feel good about it, man. It's like worked on it for about 5-6 months, I'd say, and I put in a lot of work. I've been dropping singles, a lot of singles leading up to it, and it's like I got to do something different, Yeah. It was getting a little repetitive, and I'm like, man, it's time to do a body of work. I actually was planning to do a mixtape a while ago, but I feel like now I more so found my sound. I more so found things that fit me, and I'm like, man, it's about time ready to do a tape.
Yeah, and just kind of going off that, I've known you since elementary. I've known you since
middle school.
Well, yeah, but it's still elementary.
Yeah, you're right.
But I've known you since you started rapping, right?
Mm-hmm.
And since then, you've kind of had it in your mind that at one point you wanted to do a full-length solo project, on your own. Yeah. And you're actually finally doing it now. So like, how did you go about doing this? Like, what was your state of mind heading into the approach of the album? Was it different than like making a song? Because you write songs just every day. So is it different knowing that I'm gonna make this song for a project?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so this is how I actually started. So I was making songs. I actually had I remember I hit a point. I made like 3 songs. I came out with the studio with 3 songs. I remember I sent them to my boy Moy, and he was like, man, I really fuck with these songs, man. He's like, honestly, man, you should hold off on these and just work on a tape. And then, I thought about it, because I'm like, I was so used to the approach of dropping singles. I'm like, man, I should probably do a tape now. Thought about it. So going into it, I still recorded all the songs, like having the mindset that I was gonna do a tape, but I'm like, I didn't want, just like, okay, this is gonna be track 4, this is gonna be track 5. It's like I just did what I felt was dope. And I knew at one point that I wanted to balance it good. I definitely want to show my versatility, because I feel like my strong point when it comes to music. And I wanted to show that on the tape. And I hit a point where I was recording a lot of like similar songs. So that's really the only thing that I would say I approached it wise. Like, I had a lot of one style. So then I'm like, okay, let me do this style, add that. Because I felt like I was kind of shifting away from what I put out.
Okay, yeah.
That sound, the hard hitting trap beats. I was doing more so a lot of rapping with no hook, but you're gonna hear that on there. I was doing a lot of songs like that because I felt like I needed to do that, but I definitely wanted to cater to the audience that really fucked with Snakes and Steve Jobs and shit, because I'm good at that too. So I wanted to, I'd balance it like that, but that's pretty much the only approach I took for the tape, if you're talking about like.
Also, I don't know if it was last summer or 2 summers ago, but you did want to drop a tape. It was called, what was it called? Hoj?
Viva La Hoj, yeah, which is my
Viva
Twitter name.
Yeah, Twitter name, @Viva La Hoj.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so that motherfucker.
I kind of just want to know why that didn't end up dropping, because I know you had a lot of songs leading up to it, but was it different because maybe you approached it as, I'm just gonna make a bunch of songs and put them as one, and it's not necessarily like how Undisclosed Location is, where you knew you were heading into it and you're gonna make songs like for that project specifically?
Yeah.
So is it different in that regard? Like, is that why you didn't release it, because you were like, maybe that you weren't ready to release a tape at that point? Maybe you wanted to build up your own profile or something? Like, why didn't that come out?
Yeah, when I was working on that, I feel like more so there was more, I didn't necessarily know what direction I kind of wanted to go with it. As I was recording the songs, at the time, I didn't know that. I'm like, oh, this is not fitting the direction. But I still continued, because before that, I was in a group called JMC, and we dropped Around the Corner. And after that, I wanted to work on the tape. I think I dropped CR, which was a song that I had.
Hard ass fucking
I dropped
song.
La Via Casa. And then from there, you made that beat. And then, so I think it was like 2014, 2015, I was working on a lot of songs. And I was working on the tape, but I scrapped it real early. I think because I wanted to take the single approach first. I'm like, why am I doing the tape right now? I still got to find my sound. I still got to kind of like do. I feel like there was so much that needed to be done. So I'm like, you know, and that's when, you know, I put Snakes out there. I mean, I put like lots of dough. Like, you know, that came from that process. Dolo with the shits, all that. You know,
it's kind of like you're finding your style at the time,
finding my style. Yeah, you know, and I felt like I needed that journey to make this tape. I needed that, you know. So,
all right. So, you know, the title of the tape, Undisclosed Location, and you know, for years I've been riding with you from here to a specific place, right? Mm-hmm. Can't really mention. That's where the studio is. Did this location of the studio influence the title? And if it did, are there any other influences of the title?
Well, there's two. That's a good little synopsis of that. But I think my perception of Undisclosed Location, it had kind of two meanings. One of the meanings was how I view my status in rap in general, and I also view it as where I'm from. So, like, you know, we're talking about where I'm from, you know, Stockton, California, you know, we're not really known. We're known for, you know, like the...
It's probably like you stop to get gas on your way to
Sac, you know, or you trying to get killed and shit or something, you know. Like, just on some ignorant shit. It's known for ignorant shit or being boring to live in and shit. It's known for that shit, but, you know, music's not known from it. You know, and people really don't know Stockton in California. When people think of California, what, you thinking of LA? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You thinking of San Francisco, the Bay Area, you know? But Stockton is like that undisclosed location that people don't know when you're looking at it from a different optic. You know what I'm saying? Looking at it from another lens, you know? So, like, that's one meaning of it. Just basically putting my city, trying to get my city some, you know, I'm coming out of it from an undisclosed location, but I want to put it to the forefront. I want to put people in it. And then my second meaning behind it is just my status in the game. Like, I said something on Twitter recently about this. Like, man, motherfuckers be talking about this clout shit and all this other status shit, man. If you go outside Stockton, niggas ain't nothing, man. There's nobody from Stockton that's getting no type of like, oh, this guy is like big. There's nobody bigger than anybody. So like everybody is equal, man. Like, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
in that regard, though, do you want your music to serve as a platform for other aspiring Stockton artists?
Oh, definitely. That would definitely be a great. That's what I kind of want to, and also, going back to the status thing. But I just feel like I'm a nobody. You know, now I'm a nobody right now.
You kind of got to prove yourself.
Yeah, I got to prove myself. Definitely. I'm at an undisclosed location just in my rap career. You know,
so Undisclosed Location is both like a metaphoric, maybe place in your mind or where you're at, but also a physical location, where you recorded these songs, and also where you're from.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been making music. I mean, I know, but you know, the audience might not know. How long have you been making music? Like actually making music, not just, you know, writing bars, but, you know, going to the studio like consistently.
Okay, I say about. I think I started when I was 16.
Yeah.
So I'm, you know, about 7 years. Yeah, about 7 years. I remember clearly how it started. I remember Moy Still Crisp on Twitter. I remember Moy, shout out Moy. He actually, like, we were outside of the portables. You know how they had like the portables in school? We were outside the portables, and then I remember Mac Miller just dropped that Kids. And I remember he was like, bruh, we wasn't even hella cool at the time, but he was like, bro, I want you to hear this. It was like right before I went to class. I remember the bell rung and shit. So like we, you know, niggas is fucking on some bullshit. So, you know, he just rapping it to me. He went over Kool-Aid and frozen pizza. And I'm like, fuck, that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like,
that kind of got you inspired.
I was like, I went home and I wrote some shit that was whack, you know, but I thought it was cool. It was cool. I said something about like stand out better than a lime green sweater, nigga. I said some bullshit. you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I remember that shit. But it just kind of motivated me to keep going, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it started. I remember that vividly of when I first started, and that's when you bought the mic, you know, you bought that snowball mic.
The little
and that started it too. Shit, you know what I mean? We recorded hella shit on there. Hella shit.
Recorded Moy's West of Nowhere.
West of Nowhere, you know, that's a high school classic.
And that was like a game changer for us,
that too. Definitely was. It definitely was a game changer.
I still remember going into high school like, oh, can we get a CD? We fucking like burned 100 copies of that shit.
We definitely did a lot with that.
And, you know, going back to the tape, though, I guess kind of just give me, just tell me how long it took you to make this tape. You know, from the first song you remember recording that's on this tape, how long ago was that? Excluding the bonus tracks.
Okay. So the first 14, I want to say that I started in September.
Okay.
So, well, that's about, shit.
It's like 6
months. Yeah, like 6, 7 months. So yeah, half a year.
So you really took your time with it then.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Yeah. I recorded probably about, in total, I mean, we talking about just everything I created in that time, like written, you know, everything.
Yeah. Probably over like.
Over 45 songs.
Yeah. I was gonna say about 50. Because I remember you sending me a bunch.
Yeah, sending a bunch, and then I wrote a lot that I planned to do, and then I'm like, you know, so I wrote. It was so much. And
originally, you had about 20 something songs on the mixtape.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you like.
Cut it down,
like,
you're right.
Because they're all good songs, but if you cut it down to like where you're at right now, which I think is perfect, then I feel like it makes each individual song stand out a little more.
You're right.
And I'm looking at the track list right now. I'm just gonna read it out. Level Up, Drugs, 10 Speed, Posted, Ready to Die, Dead Men, Past Life, Gamble, Still Alive, Clear Choices, God of the Mud, Stockton, House Forever, Fame Friends, and then you got the 2 bonus tracks in Steve Jobs and Snakes. So, you know, the first thing that I noticed from looking at this is no features. And I applaud you for this, you know, because, I mean, obviously J. Cole did it, right? He went platinum. But I think it's perfect for you because you're not really at the point where you need features or where like it's even like a good idea to have features because, you know, you're a local artist that's trying to get your name out. So, like, it doesn't make sense for you to, like, have all these songs with a bunch of different features of people that no one really knows, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, heading into it, did you know you weren't going to have features or you just, like, recorded the songs and you were like, nah, I'm cool with myself?
Okay, so when I was creating it, I never, see the thing with me is like, I really applaud myself on being versatile. So I just feel like what anybody could have done on this tape, I could have did. Like, I'm not going to just not write a second verse and like, be like, oh, this guy sounds good on it. Let me get this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can do whatever anybody else can do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's even a song where I'm kind of singing on there a little bit, like really like kind of melodic. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, for this one, I want to show what I can do. I don't want anybody to take away from
range
it.
of like musical talent.
And that's not to say I don't want to work with anybody. You know, I've definitely had talks with other artists from the city, and I'm definitely planning on my second go around. I'm definitely gonna plan on doing something, you know, different. Definitely get some singers in there. You know, that's something that I really wish I could have added to that element. You know, so I just felt like, you know, I could have did everything myself.
Yeah. And also, you know, looking at the track list, and also you dropped the artwork of the track list. It kind of has like a dark vibe to it. Is that something that like the tape follows? Because I mean, I've heard every song, but I haven't heard it cohesively, and I haven't heard it like, you know, like every song back to back in the way that you want people to experience the tape. So is it like a dark vibe? Like what's the vibe to it?
See, the interesting thing is that I actually just thought about right now is that actually, you know how the front cover is like a more welcoming daytime vibe? And I do have songs that fit that, and I also have those dark songs that do fit the back of the track list. So that actually is kind of true when I think about it. I do.
Do you think that could also be like, not trying to like dive that much into it, but is it kind of like how Stockton is? You know, like kind of like it looks like a welcoming city in between Sac and the Bay. You know, drive through it, and it looks like a cool place. You know, right on the port. But then you get inside, it's like there's a lot of shit happening in the city, and that's not to like, you know, try to like diss the city, because you know we both obviously love it. But do you think that's like kind of like a metaphor in a way?
Like. Definitely, my boy Abraham. Shout out Abraham, AB. He added the 3 pictures on the side, and they just, those, you know, niggas gonna be like, oh, that nigga ain't shooting nobody. There's like a gun on there. You know, I don't want niggas to think that I'm just fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. Or there's a cop car on there, like, well, he gonna shoot the cop. Like, nah, that nigga, don't look into that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So like, there are different representations of Stockton. You know, all of them. You know, you got the palm trees. You know, Stockton is a vibrant, welcoming place too. Then you got the cop cars, the police, you know, and then you got the gun, because those are aspects of Stockton, you know, and those are aspects of the tape too, because I speak on Stockton. I have a song called Stockton, which is, you know, I really hope you guys really enjoy that one, you know, so.
All right, now heading into like, I guess a different area, I wanted to kind of you to speak about your influences a bit, if you can. So as far as influences go, what was like your #1 influence behind this project? And, you know, you could speak a little bit about your favorite artists and things of that nature.
Well, yeah, you know, I'm influenced by a lot of music, man. I listen to a lot of music. I feel like being a student of the game is very important, and it's something that I feel like the top artists now are students of the game. They know where they come from, they know their heritage, and they know rap.
Yeah.
You know, they're students of the
Yachty?
game. Shout out Yachty. Yeah, they're students of the game, you know, and even he has influences, you know, but some of my influences, man, they range from a lot of people, man. Like, you know, I think Jay-Z's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest. My favorite rapper of all time is Lil Wayne. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm influenced by Wayne, you know, Drake. I love Drake. I love the versatility of Drake that he shows in his music. That's one thing that I really pay attention to.
Yeah.
And I think me being versatile as well, that's something I look up to him as. He's just one of the most complete artists that the game has ever seen, you know. Kendrick, very influenced by Kendrick. I love that new album. Damn is incredible. You know, it's like probably my favorite release as of this year. You know, Kanye, Cudi, I love Cudi. And I'm influenced by the new guys too, man. Shout out Yachty, you know, shout out Cardi, shout out, you know.
Yeah, no, I feel
shout out all those people, because you have to see, the thing is with me, in my belief, I feel like you can't stay on one side too long. You can't be that old head that's stuck in that golden age 90 rap, you know, you love Big L and shit. Like, you know, I love Big L too, but like, you know, you stand on that side, you can't stay on that side, because you're gonna lose touch to the new generation. Yeah. And you can't be too much into that new generation at the same time, because you gotta do your homework and know what comes before you. Yeah. You have to find that medium, that fine line. And that's what I try to find, you know what I'm saying? So I'm influenced by a lot of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I listen to a bunch of people. And I love just finding new shit, new flows and shit. That shit's dope, you know? I like hearing that shit.
Kind of piggybacking off that, you know, as of recently, we've seen a lot of, not recently, I guess, within the past 1 or 2 years, you know, we've seen, it seems like a pushback from the old heads of hip hop. You know, they're showing a lot of kind of like restraint toward accepting acts like Lil Uzi Vert or Lil Yachty. I mean, we've seen recently on the Complex Everyday Struggle, you know, Joe Budden's going off on Lil Yachty. Yeah. So going off that.
Shout out Joe Budden. He's a legend.
So going off that, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, in regards to your music, is that something you try to do? Do you try to appeal to both and young crowds, or do you think you're just trying to like be yourself and maybe it'll appeal to everyone?
I definitely want to appeal to both sides. I definitely want to be that guy that the old heads look at as like, oh, okay, this guy has bars, he knows how to rap. But I also want to be cool with the young kids and be like, oh, he has cool, because, you know, the young kids like the melodies, you know, they like the Travis Scotts, you know, the
young
Migos
kids are
shit.
the one that's gonna like keep you going.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
definitely
exactly. So I make sure the melodies is fresh. I make sure the flows are fresh, but the bars got to be there too, because you know that's very important. And I feel like my one of the theories I have on rap is that the top 3 guys in rap are always gonna have bars. They're always gonna have substance and content. Yeah. I feel like that's always gonna be like that. It's always been like that.
Yeah, and just talking about influences in general, how does specifically style influence you, you know, and like, you know, I don't want to like say Tumblr, but you know, you see these images of like Kanye rocking Old Bape, or, you know, just like for example, the shirt you're wearing, you know, Dipset, you know, so like how does style influence your music?
Oh, style is definitely, like, in what way you mean? Like,
well, I know we text a lot about, you know, like clothes and shoes and shit, and I know you fuck with like early Bape. So, I mean, you've grown up, like you said, a student to the game, right? Yeah. So you've seen like the music videos where they're rocking this shit. Is that something that you kind of want to portray as well? Like as you're getting into it? Like
like with the style?
Like just be fresh, you know? And
definitely style. It's culture, man. Like, you know, culture, style, fashion, and music correlate. They definitely fit each other. They bounce off of each other, you know? So definitely, like, you know, style is something that I feel like it's very important in just rap and music in general, you know? Like, it was cool seeing, you know, Pharrell and fucking in the Snoop video with the red Bape hoodie, you know what I'm saying? It's cool just to see shit like that, you know, in music. And shout out A$AP Rocky, because, you know, he killing it with his fashion shit, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I just feel like you don't want to get too into that fashion as a rapper.
Too worried about bitches and fashion?
You know what I'm saying? You gonna miss it. Shout out Drake. That was a real ass line, because you don't want to get, you're a rapper. You want to stay with what you got, because you don't want to get too out there, because you're gonna kind of lose touch to music, and you know we're gonna hear it in your music, and I hear it in some of these niggas' music, like, you know what I mean? Like, get it together, you know? So
all right, and on that note, I mean, you're wearing that classic, you know, t-shirt.
Shout out to Dipset.
Is Supreme dying out?
Supreme dying out. Honestly,
in your opinion, because everyone's, you know, different.
I don't want to say it's dying out. The last shirt I probably caught from Supreme is the Gucci tee, the Gucci Man tee.
You had to.
And yeah, because he's in my top 10. I had to. And it's not dying out. It's just getting a little oversaturated for me personally. It was cool it was cool having that feeling, waking up at 8 in the morning and trying to cop some shit. Like, me, I remember, Johnny was on this shit. You was on your shit, like hitting y'all up about it. Like, oh,
like Christmas morning.
Yeah, it was cool waking up, copping it, and then getting on Instagram and Twitter and not seeing everybody had some shit, That sounds like some hype beast shit, but it's we all want shit that people don't have. We all don't want to walk down the street and see 5 people, or just go on Instagram, you see 20 people cop the same shit you got, or the tastemakers of fashion and shit, and some shit, and all of them are fucking, it's just flooded on shit, That's what I feel like Supreme, it's not their fault. It's just the brands get super hype. You got Travis Scott wearing the old ass box logo tees and shit. Like, people, and then he's a emerging artist.
Yeah.
He's one of the hottest rappers. Kids is gonna emulate that. People fucking follow, Ian Connor and shit. Like, they follow that. Kids love that shit and they want to emulate these guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's not their fault. But is it dying? I don't want to say it's dying. I'm just not gonna be wearing that new shit.
Okay. All right, so kind of going off that, where do you want this tape to get you? Where do you see it taking you, and what will it take for this tape to be successful to you?
Well, for this tape, I definitely want, I really take pride in the blog, so I wanted to be up on the blogs.
It'll be on nothinggoodtosay.com.
Yeah, definitely that. I want, I definitely want some blog support. Hopefully, some more shows. Just some, higher up people, maybe, from, editors or something reaching out, or, reaching to them and try just putting this shit on blogs and just getting it out there more. Just building the name, building the fan base. So I just hope to go on all that shit.
Yeah. All right. In the past 5 years, has the music scene in Stockton gotten better or gotten worse?
I'll say it's gotten better because I got better.
Okay. That's a good answer. After this tape drops, will you be releasing more music soon, or are you going to take a break and then, try to get some inspiration again and then get back at it? Or does it depend on the receiving of it?
I'm definitely probably going to drop some singles here and there.
Yeah.
Like after it's dropped, after I feel like a lot of time has been gone by. So
yeah, I feel it.
Definitely, I'll keep that going.
All right, for this next segment, we're going to, start ending the interview on a light note. This is the rapid fire segment.
Okay.
Don't think about these too hard. First thing that comes to your mind. It's going to be some fill in the blanks and choose. You'll get it as it goes.
I got it.
All right, so the world would be a better place if there were more
music.
If I were stranded on an island and can only bring 3 things with me, what would they be?
Fucking my phone, good ass music, probably fucking some cable or some shit.
Some cable?
Yeah, just some,
All right.
I don't know how to TV.
All right.
Fuck it.
If you were down by 1, would you want LeBron or Kobe taking the last shot?
Kobe.
Is it pronounced caramel or caramel?
Depends on the situation.
Bape or Supreme?
Supreme.
Kendrick or Drake?
Kendrick.
Hit Boy or Boy Wonder?
Boy Wonder.
The best Jordan silhouette is?
Air Jordan 1.
I see myself blank in 5 years.
On some shit.
Blank is the best rapper in Stockton.
JayHoj.
All right, Jordan, thanks for sitting down with us. Now, is there anything that you have upcoming, any gigs that you want to let people know about?
Yeah, I got a show coming up May 13th at the Mile. Make sure you give me feedback on that tape, man. That's the most important thing. But yeah, I got that show coming up at the Mile. I got a 15-minute set. Niggas might go a little longer, that's word on the street. Shit.
All right, man. Thanks for checking us out. NothingGoodToSay.com. Nothing Good to Say on YouTube. Make sure you follow Jordan and make sure that you download that tape when it drops on Monday. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. What happened to you, man? You counterfeit, yeah. I used to look up to them as a kid, damn. I'm only getting bigger every hit now. You probably need my help, but when I get there, my hands closed. You didn't know